Welcome to the final episode in our Sail Croatia Queen Jelena vlog series. In this episode we discuss ship movement, Wi-Fi and some items that you definitely need to bring, and we visit Hvar, Milna and Split.
Right, so after our early night we were woken up very early because the captain had started the engines at 5:15 because he wanted to get us to the Blue Cave.
Cheers, Gordon.
Now the Blue Cave is quite famous in Croatia, isn't it? And as part of our trip with Sail Croatia, it's included within the trip if you want to go on it, and you just have to pay 100 kunas, which is like £10, just because it's entry to the cave. So for £10 for an excursion. Now this morning I was just feeling a little bit under the weather, wasn't I? I just feel absolutely knackered. So Paulie, I said, will you go and I'll film you going actually to the cave, and you went. So you tell everyone about the Blue Cave.
The Blue Cave is a cave and inside it's blue. Thanks for watching. It's a natural phenomena, and what somebody discovered it by swimming through this little hole, and it's almost like inside is like but it's like in a different world. It's because of the rock and the sand, all the water is this really sort of fluorescent blue. And what they did is, once they discovered this cave, they, using some explosives, they blew a very, very tiny hole in the side of the rock formation, just big enough. So we went in on a little boat, and what they've done is they've made the hole just big enough, and when I say just big enough, we virtually all had to like get down flat in the boat to go through the hole. And then the guy who was driving our boat, who had a little outboard motor, as soon as you go inside you have to turn the engines off. And then it was what I can best describe as like he was like a ninja gondola driver, because he had a great big long metal pole which he was using the walls of the cave to push you through the cave and around the cave, and all the time he was giving you all the spiel about it, and you're only in there about 10 minutes. But it's absolutely fascinating, and the water is just like something you've never seen. It's quite amazing.
And I sat up on deck and I thought, oh, I'll get a little bit of work done. I literally opened my computer to start doing some blogging stuff, and I looked over the side and I was like, oh my god, they're coming back. You'd only been gone, what, 20 minutes?
Yeah.
So if you're on Sail Croatia past this area, make sure you go. You'd definitely recommend it.
Definitely recommend it. Yeah. And even if you don't like it, it's only 10 minutes out of your life, but I thoroughly recommended it.
Yeah.
I think it's good.
Next up, we went to a Pilates class. Yes, you heard that here first.
There's been a group of people on here, and I have to say, there's been a lot of bullying, and they've been really picking on me because the trouble is, because
interject,
because I'm so quiet. And I just sit and I sit in the corner and I'm unassuming. I never want to be the centre of attention. For some reason they've picked upon me for my character traits.
Your character traits.
And I got bullied into by Liz, who's a Pilates instructor in...
But she lives in New York now. Lovely lady that we've met on here. She's originally from New Zealand. So hi Liz, if you're watching. And she now lives in New York, and she teaches Pilates. Yes. And she's been teaching Pilates every morning, which we sort of, did we know that? I don't know. No. So she said to us, oh, you have to come to Pilates, because we joked about it yesterday. But I said, you know what, let's do it. Yeah. Let's do it. So we did. It was hard, wasn't it? Very good instructor.
She's a very good instructor. It was very hard, and the moment we finished, we immediately came back to our room and went to bed.
Yeah, we did. We had to lie down and fell asleep. But excellent. But we're going to do it again tomorrow, aren't we?
Well,
if we can walk.
I'll see if I can get out of bed in the morning.
Yes.
Which I'm not very confident, but we'll see. Never say never.
But it was great, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There's about, I don't know, 7 of us on the top deck with the sun shining in the shade, and it was lovely, wasn't it?
It was a nice setting for Pilates.
It was.
It was the best Pilates I've ever done.
Yeah, you've never done it though.
Never done it before.
No. Right then. So we're going to talk to you about water bottles and how important they are for this cruise. Do you want to explain the reason why these are very important for people to bring on holiday, Paulie?
Because they're like a flask, and what they do is they keep cold things cold and hot things hot.
Yes.
So what have I got inside here? Some tomato soup and 2 chocolates.
Do joking aside, these bottles have been a godsend if you put the top on properly, because you don't have a fridge in your cabin, but what you do have is obviously you've got cold water now for when we go downstairs.
And if you ask Mario nicely behind the bar, he'll put some ice in it for you.
Yeah. The other thing we've been asked a lot about is movement. Now, this ship isn't. We're not. No, I don't.
It's not too bad.
No. Don't you make me cough. This ship isn't obviously big, as you've seen from the pictures we've shown you. It holds 38 passengers, and you do feel some movement,
yes,
but not much. We haven't been bothered by it at all, have we?
No, not at all.
And because of the programme of the itinerary with Sail Croatia, you're cruising just in the morning from any time between 5 a.m. to 7:30. You head off to your next swim spot. So you're sailing for what, 3-4 hours?
Yeah.
While you're having breakfast and just chilling out, and then you stop for your swim spot, and then you do a little bit more sailing till you get to your destination about 2 or 3 o'clock. So in maybe, did you say 5 or 6 hours every day?
At the most, yeah.
Yeah.
Because everything's so close together.
Overnight you're always docked, and there are slight deviations to that depending on the islands that you're visiting, so that's not set in stone, depends on the itinerary that you pick with Sail Croatia, but that's been our experience, hasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. However, we have been told by Maya, who's our host, that sort of at the shoulder end of the season, so the beginning or the end, the areas between Hvar and between Split can get a little bit choppy. So we did pack some Sturgeon, some seasickness. We haven't had to use them at all. So I think if you are coming on a small ship, you can't expect no movement, but we haven't experienced much at all. What we have experienced though is quite noise, which we would expect because we're below deck. As you'll see in our cabin tour, we're below deck and we're not quite near the front, so we hear the anchor when we stop for swim stops.
Yeah.
And we hear the engines. So, but it hasn't. You might hear them and then we doze back off again, don't we? It's not been intrusive.
It's just the initial start up or the initial dropping of the anchor or pulling the anchor up.
Yeah.
Which doesn't take long at all once you go, and it's sort of quite a gentle hum, which is almost, I find quite
soothing, isn't it?
Really.
Yeah. You really feel like you're at sea. I know that sounds a bit bizarre, but it's great, and we've loved every minute, haven't we? So the other question we've been getting on our Facebook and Instagram is Wi-Fi, and yes, there's Wi-Fi on the ship. We've got 2 sorts of Wi-Fi, haven't we? Well, not 2 sorts.
There's 2 lots of Wi-Fi. There's what's called the saloon deck Wi-Fi, which works where you have your breakfast and your lunch and your dinner if it's one of those days,
and outside in the area,
outside that area, and it works well. And there's also cabin Wi-Fi, and that works really well. The only place the Wi-Fi doesn't seem to work is on the sundown. And we thought, well, maybe it's just our networks that we're on, but everybody we speak to, they said, well, no, I can't get any Wi-Fi either. But you only have to walk down one set of stairs and you'll get Wi-Fi, and you'll also...
And it's free.
And it's free, yes. It's free Wi-Fi, and it's pretty decent. I mean, obviously I've been doing all the Instagram stories and summer videos, some,
Yeah, no, it's been good. We've been impressed with it.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
But we're never far from land, and normally we would just revert to our 4G because with Sky it costs us £2 a day, but these islands don't have it. Some of the islands don't have 4G, so just be aware that that's the case.
Some of the bigger places have, but a lot of the places we can't even get a phone signal on some of the islands, and we couldn't get a phone signal yesterday. So
but just to be aware.
Just to be aware of that, yeah.
So our next island that we visited was an island called Hvar, which is known as the party island. It's where all the rich and famous come, isn't it, Paulie, apparently?
I don't know about famous, but definitely rich. A lot of well-dressed people walking around, and a lot of big, privately owned yachts.
Yes.
Big. And we got told that Jeff Bezos...
Yeah, Nate told us, didn't he?
His yacht was moored up yesterday.
Pan Am.
Called Pan Am. And like I said to Carole, just imagine how big the cardboard box was if Jeff Bezos has ordered his yacht. Because, I mean, we order a pen off Amazon,
and it
comes in something the size of that wardrobe. You think, what's Carole ordered now? Oh, it's a pen. So,
anyway, back to Hvar.
So, Jeff, get your act together, use less cardboard. Because I'm sure he watches our videos.
I'm sure he does. So, so let's start with the beginning of Hvar, honey. You've jumped ahead a little bit.
Well, what's
So
not
sailing to Hvar, it's a very, very popular port. And what happened is at 4 o'clock, a water taxi came and took all the passengers that wanted to get off onto the land so that they could start exploring, because the slots that you're given, well, our slot wasn't going to be till about 7 o'clock. Paul and I decided to stay on board the ship because we're loving it. When everyone gets off, it's like having your own private yacht, and we're just chilling out and enjoying it and doing a bit of blogging work, etc. So we stayed on board in the swimming spots. We could swim as much as we wanted to, and then we got off when the ship docked. And again, we were sort of, I don't know, fourth ship in, wasn't we? There's so many ships, as you'll see from all these pictures of Hvar. But Hvar reminded us a lot of Puerto Banús in Spain by Marbella.
Marbs.
It's a very
affluent area for sure. And as we found out, I mean, we thought it was busy when we got off about 7 o'clock. And then we had a wander around. We found
it's beautiful,
but everywhere is like double busy. If you haven't booked, you've got no chance.
If you've got particular restaurants in Hvar and you're visiting, make sure you book ahead. We did. We walked all the way around to the other side of the harbour and found a restaurant called
Gerald something, wasn't it?
Geraldine. And there was one table of two they had, and this was now by like 9:30, wasn't it? 9 o'clock. And fantastic service. Paul, you just fancied a burger, didn't you? So Paul was a bit of a Philistine, had a burger. I had a lovely chicken salad, which was huge, wasn't it?
What did you have for your chicken salad?
I had some chips.
Oh, so I'm a
They
Philistine.
do chips like in they look like a canoe. Don't they?
Yeah, they're quite
they
old,
peel.
but
I don't know
very
how they peel them, but they're like in a scoop. But like proper. Do you remember when my mum used to make homemade chips in the fryer? Just the proper homemade chips.
So just remember,
not.
I was the
frozen.
person that got called a Philistine.
I know.
And Carole's giving you electron chips.
But that wasn't expensive, was it? I had a glass of wine, you had a beer, we had a big bottle of water and our meals, and it was 340 kuna. So but it's 36 quid for the two of us. So actually, if you get away from this, where all the yachts are, then and just walk a bit further, then you'll find something that's quite reasonable.
I'm walking back. I'm going to throw this out here now. Only about 3 people would understand this reference. It was so busy walking back. It was like that Richard Ashcroft video, or when he was with the Verve, and everybody's bumping into him. There was thousands of people all milling. It
seemed
around.
it.
But they were all going in the other direction to us because we're all going home to bed and they're all going out.
It's party central.
They're just coming out and we're just going in. So we can give it, we're old.
So if you like to party till early hours, Nate and Kat went to what was it called? Carpe Diem.
Seize the day.
Yes, which is right opposite where our ship was docked, and they had some great music and dancing. So it's a fun island if that's what we want. We're old farts, and we were in bed by 11, weren't we? Because we were just tired, and we're just in such chill out mode, don't we? It's just lovely.
We had to get to bed early because we only had 2 snoozers, didn't we?
We did. We only had 2 snoozes.
We had for the first time ever, we had a snooze in the morning and in the afternoon.
Now the other thing to say about Hvar is there's a really good viewpoint, which some of our group on the Queen Jelena went up there and kindly sharing photos in our WhatsApp group. So I'll put a couple in here so you can see if you feel like walking up. It's about 100 steps, and then they said it wasn't too bad, didn't they? They walked up to the top, but we were just wanted to just sit and people watch, didn't we?
You can't walk up stairs when you've still got a bed strapped to your back, can you?
No, or have done Pilates in the morning and are feeling a bit sore.
Broken. Thanks, Liz.
So that's Hvar. We enjoyed our time there, but a little bit busy for us, wasn't it? A little bit too mad for us old farts. Right there. So our next island was a little island called Brac. B-R-A-C, and we were heading for a tiny little resort called Milna.
Yes.
So on the way we had our usual swimming stop, which is lovely, wasn't it, Paulie? We really, really loving our swim stops.
We're not going to get one, are we, soon?
No. We need to have
We'll walk out in the garden and be really disappointed that the Adriatic Sea isn't there.
Exactly that. And after a swim we enjoyed another lunch, didn't we? We had a prawn risotto and a really tasty tuna steak, wasn't it?
Yeah, with the prawn risotto there was like I can best describe it. It looked like a ball of ice cream. And it was like a
Parmesan.
It was like a Parmesan cheese, like
mousse.
like a mousse. Yeah. Oh, it's delicious.
It was, and the tuna was lovely, and it was followed by a very tasty apple cake, wasn't it?
Very tasty apple cake, and unfortunately for me, my new best friend Pete,
Yes,
doesn't like apple cake, so
you had to have two.
I had to have two.
Mr. Greedy Man.
Yes.
Yeah. And then after lunch we chilled in the sun for a bit, didn't we? And then we went and had a nap. We've been napping a lot, haven't we?
We've been napping a lot.
We
We might have a nap halfway through this recording.
It's just been we've been so chilled out, haven't we, Paul? It's been brilliant. And then we arrived in Milna, as you can see here. So after the craziness of Hvar, Milna was totally the other end of the spectrum, wasn't it? Tiny, small little town with...
quite weirdly, abandoned like shops and restaurants and houses, and you looked at the value of what these places could fetch, and you think, how could they just be left empty? But nobody seems to know who actually owns them. So nobody wants to invest any money in doing them up, because they're worried that all of a sudden somebody's going to appear with the deeds and say, oh, you know, thanks for doing me house up, mate, and move back in.
It's all very strange.
So it's all quite odd. Now, we only got told this because after we had our snooze and we got up, and then we thought, what we just do, we just have a quick drink on the back of the ship before we get off. So we had a quick drink, and then Darren, one of the guys we met from New Zealand, he joined us.
Yeah, he's lovely.
And he said, oh, it's going to be a good sunset tonight. And the perfect place to see the sunset was sat on the back of our boat.
Yes.
So Carole said, well, can we just stay here till sunset? And it's like, oh, go on then. And we have to say it was spectacular.
Yeah, as you can see here.
Yeah. So we had a couple more beers, and then the sun went down, and they said, right, let's go then. And as we was about to stand up to walk off the ship, some of the other guests arrived.
Yeah, the guys from Sydney who were fabulous.
So they
Justin and the Paulers.
Yeah, so they sat down. Oh, we have a beer, are we? Oh, well, we just have one more then. So we had one with them, and that turned into two, and then we thought, well, we'll just get off now then, and then somebody else got on and sat with us.
It was just one after another. The passengers were coming back on, and it was lovely because we've been really honoured to be in such a lovely group, haven't we? I think on a small ship like that, the passengers can make or break it because there's only 30 of us, 29 of us, and we've been so blessed to have such
a right good bunch.
Yeah, really good.
And then all of a sudden, it was 10:15.
I know.
And we hadn't anything to eat since lunchtime, but luckily we were docked right next to a pizzeria.
Yes.
So I quickly jumped off the ship, went into the pizzeria. I said, can you do me 3 pizzas to take away? And they said, where are you taking them away to? I said, that ship just there, look. And they said, yeah, come back in 20 minutes. So I squared them all out, come back in 20 minutes, took 3 pizzas back, which I must admit was very gratefully received by the passengers. And we got bought a couple of drinks because we'd supplied the late night buffet. And then we went to bed.
Yeah, it was a great night.
So Carole physically didn't even get off the ship.
I didn't, but you could see where we were sat in Milna was a perfect spot, wasn't it? Because you could hear right opposite was a bar with a harmonica player,
blues,
so you could hear the music. You could see sunset, and we were at the bar.
Yeah. So what we know about Milna is good pizzas, good blues music, and fantastic sunsets.
Yes. So thank you, Milna.
Yeah.
So our last place that we visited was Split. We arrived in Split, as we do every day, sort of early afternoon. And prior to that, we had another swim stop, didn't we?
Yes, we love the swim stop.
We do love the swim stop. But it was quite rough, wasn't it? First time we'd been in the water, that it was actually, you could feel it a little bit choppy.
Bobbing around like a top.
We want to give it a shout out to Mia, because she's been fantastic throughout this week. Full of information. We've had a WhatsApp group that's worked so well with every day. There's just information about what, so you can self-explore. It's been brilliant, hasn't it? The whole organisation has been spot on and not intrusive.
No, not at all.
That's what I've loved. I thought, is it going to be a bit too organised and you're going to feel it's going to be a little bit regimented? But it hasn't been like that at all.
She gives you every opportunity to join in, but she doesn't force anybody.
No, if you don't want to.
Great. She's been so well organised, and it's been blooming brilliant.
It has. Split is a fantastic town. Lots of history, lots of shopping, lovely sunset, but very busy.
Very. Anyway, so we found a nice little bar.
We did.
Carole had too many wines last night, so she had a Fanta. She had an orange Fanta. I had another local beer which I haven't heard of until today, and I can't pronounce that, so I'm not even going to try to. And then, because we were in Croatia, what we thought we'd do is have some nice Asian food.
Yes, exactly. So we spotted a restaurant called Silk, S-I-L-K. And we thought, because we love our Asian food. If you know that, if you've been following us for a while. So we popped in there, and I had a chicken red curry.
And I had
belly pork.
Crispy belly pork.
Oh my both God. Were just absolutely delicious.
Absolutely superb.
So anyway, Split was lovely, wasn't it? We had a good walk around. It's very humid, actually.
It is hot
so we've just come in, and we've just had a bit of a lie on the bed with the aircon, which is lovely, just to cool off. And we're going to head up to our little bar on the Queen Jelena, just to see everyone before we get off tomorrow.
Yeah.
So our week with Sail Croatia has come to an end.
Yes.
It's been fantastic on so many levels, hasn't it, Paulie? Small ship cruising was something that we thought we would love, but we were concerned about the small passenger size and the personability about it. But actually, it's been amazing.
But to be fair, you were worried about the small passenger size, but they were all sort of similar sizes to us, weren't they, as it turned out?
So if you are considering to going on a small ship cruise, and we can definitely recommend Sail Croatia. Our cruise was an Elegance cruise, but there's other cruise sort of groups to consider, like Navigator, Explorer. Now you might think after watching our videos that small ship cruising is out of your budget, but we've got links to the Sail Croatia site in our videos in our description, so make sure you check it out, because you'll be surprised. It's very affordable, isn't it, Paulie?
It is for what it is, yeah.
Yeah.
For more small ship cruising, watch our river cruise vlogs next.